rolling. What a start. So I came up with like a little new pre-workout protocol since I told you that Goods, Eddie, and Terrence are back, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we've been working out earlier in the mornings, and I've been doing this for a minute. Been doing this for, I don't know, probably a year by now. Well, no, that's fucking lie. Not a year. Definitely a few months for sure. But one of my guys is dating like an old school Asian, and they have like all Asian remedies for stuff.
What do you mean old school Asian?
Old school, like off the boat, right? Like not
Okay.
an Americanized Asian. Like
Right, okay.
she's Americanized, but like neither of her parents like pretty much speak English.
Right, okay.
Right, like that's like traditional stuff. And
Right.
you know, I went to acupuncture school, so they're into remedies. You know what I mean? Like all these natural cocktails, all these natural remedies and shit. So he came in one day with this pack, hemo him, right?
Okay.
Bro, there ain't nothing in fucking English on this.
Wow.
He's like, take it. I said, what am I gonna fucking take this for? We were both afraid to take it. We didn't know what the hell was in it. So we looked everything up. You can't find ingredients on this motherfucker. And it was tough to find everything on it. And it's in like, you know, a nice little casing and everything. So I've been taking, he took a sip of it the first time. He's like, oh shit, no way. You want to try it? I was like, not anymore, motherfucker. Like there's no way. This is Bird. This is one of my coaches. And he didn't really convince me to take it with it. So finally I looked it up, and I haven't had caffeine in like 5 years. So I steer away from any kind of stimulants, everything like that. I haven't had a cup of coffee, nothing over 5 years. So I looked all this up, and it didn't seem like there's any stimulants in it. So it's okay. So one of the reasons why they, you know, as they say, take it, is this is something that supports your immune system big time. And people swear, like people have taken this and they swear that it like got rid of their cancer. I was like, no, but whatever. Like, what fuck do I care? So he got me this whole fucking box of hemo him. It might last like 6 months. 6 months worth of it. So I just take it every fucking morning. Dude, it tastes horrible. But now it's like, you know, like when you have really bitter coffee and it like kind of like wakes you up a little bit.
Yeah. So what's in it?
I have no idea. I forget.
And so when you say it tastes bad, what does it taste like? It tastes like dirt?
It
tastes like poison?
It tastes like beef jerky that's rancid. Like yeah, and mixed with like molasses. Like rancid beef jerky and molasses.
Do you have to mix it with hot water? Is it like a tea?
I don't know what you're supposed to do.
Shot in it?
Everything's in Korean on this fucking thing. Everything's in like look, all the writing.
Yeah, but didn't he say how they take it or how you should take it? Or what are you doing? You're just ripping the pack open
rip the packet up.
And
I eat it like it's fucking, you know, like one of those peanut butter packets. You know, like that's but I maybe you're supposed to put in water. I don't want this flavor to last any longer than it should. So like I just get rid of the fucking thing and I just chug it. It's Hemohim is an herbal extract. That's all I fucking know about it. I forget what herbs are in it. Maybe I'll look it up. I don't know. But so what I've been doing for my pre-workouts or like the start of my days, I'll do. They say, oh, by the way, we'll go to this with the sleep protocol. I can't take a ton of fucking magnesium. People like load up on magnesium. I can't fucking load up on it. It crushes my stomach.
Right.
Crushes my stomach. So I can only take like 100 or 180 milligrams of magnesium at a time. Mm-hmm. If I take 2 pills of magnesium, I'm like keeled over.
Right.
It's fucking brutal. So I don't like the whole ZMA thing, zinc magnesium aspartate prior to bed. I don't know.
I take that before bed, but it doesn't have too much magnesium in it, I don't think.
ZMA, yeah, I don't know. When I was in college, I used to take, I think it was recommended that you take 3 pills. And I think Guru was like, well, that's for normal people. So you're not normal. you're probably twice as weird as normal people. So take double the dose of whatever it says on any fucking package.
And that's Guru's Tom Bilella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, all right. So, bro, I used to take like fucking 5. You're supposed to take 3. I think I was taking like 5 fucking ZMA tablets before bed, waking up and just repainting the back of the toilet. So for my morning workout routine, I'll take magnesium. I'll take vitamin D, like 5,000 IU.
Yep.
And I'll take, I think, 2 50-milligram tablets of zinc. Is it 2 50 milligrams or 2 10-milligram tablets? I forgot. I got it somewhere. I take zinc. What else do I take? Pre-podcast, I'll take the Alpha Brain. That stopped ruining my guts so much. But yeah, so
liking that Alpha Brain.
I don't notice a fucking difference. I bought a big supply, and we do like a podcast a week, so it's taking a long time to get rid of it.
Yeah, fair enough. I hear you.
But the Huperzine is, studies have suggested that it's beneficial for, cognitive thought and like, brain fog and shit like that. So like, okay, cool. I could use way less of that. But pre-workout, what I also started doing was on my running days. I've been taking about 15 grams of gelatin, which tastes like shit. But joints and all that. Like I remember way back. I used to go to this diner. Remember? No, you weren't here for this. Horizon Diner. Do you remember Horizon Diner?
Yeah, I remember Horizon. Yeah.
That's where I got stabbed.
That's right. Yeah.
I might as well tell the story.
Yeah, go into it. That's a funny one.
So I don't drink Red Bull and vodka anymore. Ever, under any circumstances, because it just keeps you up when you just should not be up. Like I was massively drunk, insanely drunk. Like, and was I in college? I think I was in college. It was one of the few times I was drunk in college, and I had Red Bull and vodka, and I was up until like, when I shouldn't have been. And then there was this guy walking towards me, and he was in a pea coat, and I made a comment about him wearing a pea coat or something, but I was wearing a pea coat at the same time, but I was hammered. And he looked at me and says, "What the fuck do you say?" I said something like, "Oh, well, I don't, fuck you and your pea coat." And he, without hesitation, the guy took a fork and just fucking stabbed me right in the head. What the fuck? And I was so drunk, I didn't know anything happened until like a half hour later. The guy so they kicked him out of the diner. And it turns out
some Russian guy, right?
Like some fucking Russian mobster.
Yeah.
Kicked him out of the diner, and he was circling the diner for a half hour. No one told me about it because they're like, "Oh, Mike's gonna go out there and try to fight him, and he'll just die if he does that." They called the police to get rid of him. Turns out he came back every night for like the next week looking for me. Bro, I was so close to dying. But so anyway, at that diner, remember Fast Eddie?
Yeah.
There was a really old waiter who might have taken 6-inch steps, and we called him Fast Eddie. Well, Fast Eddie's kid was like some bodybuilder.
Okay.
I don't know how real it was, but this is way back in maybe like 2010. And he said he used to wait tables for Donald Trump and how much he fucking hated Donald Trump. He's like, he's a piece of shit. That's fake hair. That's fake hair. Back in 2010. Maybe it was like 2009. Fuck. But he told us that his son would read a whole bunch of Arnold books. And Arnold said the only thing you ever need is post-workout. He says you have a glass of milk and a packet of Knox gelatin, and you just stir it up and you just chug it. So some studies are starting to suggest that 15 grams of gelatin pre-workout, I think it's like an hour before the workout, is leading to the increase in cartilage formation and tendon formation. And how they tested it, I believe, so feel free to email me or DM us if I'm fucking this up, and look it up for yourselves. I believe what they would do was they would take a chunk, like they take maybe a circle chunk out of one of the tendons, and in two groups, and then they'd feed them one group the Knox gelatin, the other one, or not Knox gelatin, that's a specific brand. They'd feed them gelatin before an hour before any kind of physical activity, and then the other group they wouldn't do anything to, and they'd look at the healing rate of all the mice. So that's cool. So that's where I do that on my lower body days, not so much upper body days. Although I suppose I should be doing it. I just, I mean, at my age, the fucking torn Achilles thing just terrifies me, and any kind of, I don't know, cartilage for or back issues, ligament issues with the back and the knees and the fucking Achilles. So I don't do it every day for the upper body.
All of these high rates of Achilles tears. I mean, I remember last offseason hearing about one of the teams. They had 2 Achilles tears in the NHL, the guys, when they were training abroad. I think they were both Czech guys, actually. And I mean, you're hearing it all the time now, and it never used to be a thing, or very rarely it was.
So I remember when I was in college, I was on the team with some guy from University of Florida, and his father was like a former pro football player. Tore his Achilles playing tennis. Guy was 45 years old, and maybe he was like 50 years old. And I remember then hearing that the only way you tear an Achilles is if you have a serious mineral deficiency. Like, it didn't happen in sports. It never happened in sports. Now it's a fucking epidemic. It's fucking everywhere. It's everywhere. And I mean, even Caleb, he didn't tear his Achilles. He hurt his calf. I think someone like kneed his calf, and then like other shit happened. But calf injuries are way more prevalent now than they were in the past. And I have to be honest, I don't know what the contributing factor is to it, because I mean, people are producing way more force now. Or, well, actually, I don't even know if they're producing way more force. Would you say they are? Are they just doing more activity?
I think they're just doing much more.
I mean,
for sure, they're producing. I guess on the top levels, they're producing more force, I guess.
But look at the Olympics. Are they, or is it the tracks that, is it the technology that's aiding all these things, right?
In track and field, I think the significant improvements. I mean, that all comes, what is it, from Sports Gene? Is it that book where they're talking about just the development? I think it's that book.
I never read it.
They talk about the developments are just, they can mostly be contributed to technology, But I'd say in like team sports stuff, I mean, if you take, I don't know, I'm not sure about basketball, but I'm sure even there, if you was to compare the players nowadays to how they were 20 years ago, they're probably a bit more athletic. No, I mean, I'd definitely say it's the case in ice hockey.
I would say on the whole, yeah, but there's no Achilles tears in ice hockey. Achilles is happening.
But no, they do it in the summers. That's when they do it.
Wait, hockey players are tearing their Achilles?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, two good players. I can't remember if they were Czech, but I'm pretty sure they were 2 Czech guys, and they both tore their Achilles in the summer. I didn't know that. Big time NHL players, yeah. And it's a common thing. I heard of another one this summer that happened.
I don't know what is a contributing factor to it. One thing I will say is that people with calf injuries leading up to them, they have plantar fascial issues. They have weak tibialis anteriors. And they'll have calf issues leading up to it as well that are just relatively ignored. Like there are warning signs that we're ignoring. And it's just a lot of work to stay on top of that stuff. But I don't know. I don't know, because I've never had anyone tear an Achilles, or tear a calf for that matter. No. So I don't know. Is it because Is it age? But it's young kids doing it too. I saw a and Kevin Durant. I mean, he's just old. Kobe was old, and they were doing high repetitive stuff, high force, repetitive shit. And they're skinnier dudes too. Well, Kobe worked his ass off. Durant was a skinnier dude. Is a skinnier dude. So I mean, at that age, I can understand it. But the young kids doing it, I don't understand the mechanism behind it. Like, how does it does it come from trauma first? Like, does someone fucking, step on the back of your heel, which sets things off? I can't understand how it would tear. I don't, because I mean, everything can tear. But if you do a movement once, do it twice, do it 3 times, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to repeat it until, forever. Deterioration is what does that. But what causes the deterioration to the extent that it's going to tear the entire fucking sheath? And I don't know what it is. The cry, and it doesn't just come out of the blue. There are tells that we're ignoring. Some people, I've heard that, being too flexible is an issue, because now, I don't know if I fucking buy that, but now when you're too flexible, the joint moves around too freely, and then you have a issue for ligament tear, not tendon tear. But also, if you're too flexible, the muscle puts you through a range, or the muscle allows for the range of motion greater than what it's capable of, force that it's capable of yielding. So in neutral, your ankle is able to produce or absorb, let's say, 100 pounds. You go past neutral, in more dorsiflexion, let's say it's 90, and every 10 degrees, I'm making these numbers up, but every 10 degrees is like a 10% decrease in force absorption. So just because you can be in that angle doesn't mean you should. So that could be, they're saying that could lead to the Achilles tears as well, is increased range of motion with these ankles. But I mean, decreased range of motion is going to fuck shit up.
Yeah, I mean, that one's the obvious one. And are we seeing in general people's ankles are more flexible? Like, I don't see that with my guys. I see, if anything, their ankles are getting more stiff.
I agree. And look, I've used the comparison before, but like with martial artists, like people that do Taekwondo, they do a ton of static stretching, right? How many tears do you see in those sports?
Well, they'll static stretch before they then go balls to the wall in training.
Yeah.
That's
and high velocity movements too.
Yeah.
Now again, just because you can doesn't mean you should. But I don't know. The research doesn't support utilizing static stretching prior to high intensity movements for optimal movement speeds, but they've been doing it for thousands of years. And I've never, but it's not like I've done the research into it. But how many masters have you seen with torn Achilles? And they are jumping up super, super fucking high, landing hard. I mean, kicking people, like all that. But you see it in Muay Thai too, though. People will take a big step back. Mixed martial artists, I've seen torn Achilles, like taking a step back right before a kick, but not like masters. So I don't know. Fuck do I know? I'm just talking shit.
Yeah, we have no idea about the numbers. But continuing with your supplements then.
Well,
is that it? You're just taking the, what's it called? Him?
The Hemo-Him.
Hemo-Him.
The Hemo-Him, the zinc, the magnesium, the gelatin. And I've been doing, so I do that pre-workout. Also, what I've been doing more of is more. So you ever hear of the guy Huberman?
Yeah.
I think it's Huberman Labs.
Andrew Huberman. Shit. Yeah. You're smart guy from Stanford.
Yeah. So the only reason I found out about him is because he had Sapolsky on his podcast. And I love Sapolsky. I love him. He's super sharp. So I saw Sapolsky on his podcast. It was like, oh, okay. And then I started looking for him and reading this guy's stuff. He's fucking great.
Yeah.
He posted this one video of a study regarding protein consumption. And I think it was the hours of 5 a.m. to 12 p.m. are the most optimal times. Or did I say 5 p.m.? 5 a.m. to 12 p.m. are the most optimal times to consume protein. It might even be to 10 a.m. Optimal times to consume protein for increased protein synthesis, muscle maintenance, and muscle gain. That's awesome. But the research suggests, so this is where my mind gets a little, I'm sure everyone's mind gets a little jubbly, but right now the research suggests that I think it's 0.55 grams per kilogram of body weight is all you can absorb in like a 2-hour span of protein, 2 or 3 hours, whatever it is. So I weigh, what am I, 95 kilograms or 90 kilograms, whatever it is, 95 kilograms. So half of that is 42 and a half, right? So I can only consume 42 and a half or 45 because it's 0.55, 45, 46 grams of protein in a single meal every 2-3 hours. That's the digestion rate, they say, according to that one study. But what he's saying is if you consume all your protein earlier in the day, you don't even need to have a post-workout shake, and it will still, if you work out later at night, and it will still yield the proper benefits for muscle growth. So I started, I like that. And that makes sense to me too. You think about why people that do intermittent fasting, they can't gain weight. They can't put on mass. And I know I started when I was in school and I was doing the IF just because of convenience. I started looking like Schmeagol. Like I was fucking, I got the precious. I was so fucking tiny. My arms were small. Everything was small. And then when I was doing the carnivore diet where I was just eating meat all throughout the fucking day as early as possible and as much as I wanted, I started getting leaner again, but like bigger. So I've been doing more protein earlier in the day. Even before a workout, sometimes I'll cook some bacon and eggs, unless I'm doing like some running stuff. I just don't want to puke it up. Like working out on a full stomach fucks me up sometimes. And then post workout, I'll have like a fucking protein shake. And then right after that, I'll have, I don't know, a bunch of like the beef sticks that I had from, they're fucking solid. They're 6 grams of protein, 6 grams of fat, or 7 grams of protein, 6 grams of fat, whatever it is. I don't care. Just protein. I house that. And then when I get home, I'll have like a pound of meat. And then I can kind of chill for the day. But I try to get all that in. So it's probably 130, 150 grams of protein I try to get in before 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock in the day. So that's
it then. So basically you're doing what he,
and then I do whatever the fuck I want throughout the rest of the day. If I, but lately I've been doing more, no pizza or anything like that. Just eating a little healthier. But so for my pre-workout and stuff, that's what I'm doing.
Cool.
What do you do pre-workout? You just fucking go after it. You do a cup of coffee?
Cup of coffee, done. Yeah. I can't eat much beforehand. I feel way better being fasted, especially for like long cardio stuff, for sure. Yeah. Well, depending on the length of the cardio, let's say. But yeah, no, and like supplement wise, I've still got the same stack. I go L-arginine, NAC, what's it? CoQ10, CoQ10.
Oh, CoQ10.
CoQ10. I don't know. That's how I always say it to people. CoQ10. Vitamin D, 10,000 I use of that.
Who told you 10K?
I got the one that had the strongest units, and I got that one. And that's it. And ZMA in the night. So the ZMA, it's got 300 milligrams of magnesium in it.
Bro, I can't do it.
Mm.
I just so at night, my sleep protocol, people tell you take the zinc.
Oh, sorry, bro. No, 450 it has in it.
Can't do it. I can't do it. I can't fucking do it. That actually disrupts my sleep. When I take magnesium before bed, it disrupts my sleep.
Have you done much topical magnesium? You ever tried that, or magnesium baths or anything?
Yeah, I've done magnesium baths. But not, prior to bed, no. No, not prior to bed. Maybe I should, because I'll dehydrate you. It'll stop me from waking up and pissing, which I barely do, but I guess that's a decent idea. Supplements before bed. If I'm not taking, what I used to do is I used to take, well, I'll tell you what I used to do. When my anxiety was real, real bad, I used to take a Benadryl before bed.
There you go.
Yeah, that fucking knocked me out. I was taking a Benadryl before bed. I think either 25 milligrams or 50 milligrams of Benadryl for maybe 6 months before bed. Like it was, which is not a fucking good thing to do, but my anxiety was so bad. I think in 80% of cases of people with anxiety, Benadryl reduces symptoms, and I wasn't sleeping. So it would that was the only time I ever got 8 hours of sleep straight through. So I was taking a Benadryl before bed. Then I was doing a sleepy time, which is like pretty much a ZMA almost, but with like a ton of fucking magnesium in it. Excuse me, with a ton of melatonin in it. I was doing 5 milligrams of melatonin before bed. And then I started messing around with the Cavanase or Cavanase. Apparently, it was supposed to be like the best melatonin and pre-sleep supplement, but it's fucking expensive too. That was part of my good sleep hygiene pre-sleep routine. And then I also tried messing around with CBD gummies. I couldn't do it. I could not do the CBD, dude. The CBD stuff gave me anxiety.
Right.
You're like, oh, it reduces anxiety, bro. My lips started like going a little bit like tingly and numb, and I started getting anxious as fuck. So I was like,
there is nothing though that every user has the experience, like the same experience, right?
Yeah, especially when that user is me, Johnny fucking Nocebo.
Right. So I've got some athletes that like the CBD. I mean, I know that sleep is, when you've got night games, trying to like bring yourself back down.
Oh, and all these guys have caffeine before their games.
Yeah, and a lot usually. So like sleep it's a huge one. And some of them like the CBD stuff. I've never tried it, no experience with it at all. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like we wanted to go over sleep protocols anyway. Mm-hmm. It's so hard for those guys that have evening games, especially with all the lights, the noise, the adrenaline. It's a tough one.
Yeah, the sleep. So what I ended up noticing that helped my sleep the most. So getting the Oura Ring fucking was a game changer for me.
Right.
Because it was helping me quantify my sleep. So whether the Oura Ring is accurate or not is I don't want to say is irrelevant, but it is consistent. Right. So I'm able to track, if nothing else other than my heart rate. Right. Now I happen to think that I've seen some of the studies that they've given me that the Oura Ring is the best product out there when it comes to sleep. But I was able to see the impact that certain things had on my sleep. And that's why I stopped doing the magnesium, because the magnesium was raising my heart rate. So sleep is supposed to be, you're dead. You're dead for those 6, 7, 8 hours. I don't want my heart rate elevated. My heart rate is supposed to be as low as humanly possible. That's why I started playing chess before bed, because at first I was like, oh, you don't want to play games before bed because your heart rate will elevate. And especially in chess, like you're going to get worked up, and my heart rate was lowest when I first started playing chess. My heart rate was almost lowest in the first part of the night. And it's supposed to be lowest either in the middle of the night or towards the end of the night when you actually like chilling out. And my heart rate was lowest in the beginning when I was playing chess. I was like, "Ooh, I'll make chess part of my pre-bed routine, my pre-sleep routine." It's great because I'm laying perfectly still. I'm in a sleeping position pretty much when I'm playing anyway, and I'm in the dark room. I turn my brightness on my phone all the way down, so it's not bad. You can barely see it anyway. And I'll do that. But the other thing that the Oura Ring helped me track was how soon before bed could I eat.
Right.
The eating was paramount. Now, I started figuring some of this stuff out on my own prior to even having Oura Ring. I noticed that if I had that, I was sleeping best. So remember, I used to do my vegan days.
Mm-hmm.
It was before like, anyone knew anything really about the benefits or, positive impacts, negative impacts of all the vegan stuff. So I try everything. I try every fucking diet just to make sure, like, do I like this? Can I talk about this? How it made me feel? Do I have any anecdotal stuff that helped me that could help someone else? So I noticed I started sleeping better on vegan days when my anxiety was real bad. I was like, oh, fuck. So then I said, let me make the last meals of my day vegan. And now, retrospect, looking back at it now, this coincides, this fits my narrative with the protein early in the day anyway. Most protein synthesis occurs 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. or 5 a.m. to 12 p.m. And now I'm saying the last meal of your day should be vegan in order for proper sleep, because the protein digestion just seems like it's a little too much on the body. It takes too much energy. Protein's what, 20, 30% metabolic. Carbohydrates are 8. And fat was like 2. So you want the easily digested energy prior to bed, because you don't want it sitting in your stomach and the hydrochloric acid being secreted. And these are all high metabolic activities that are occurring in the body for digestion. So the easier it is to digest, the better we're going to be. The less gut irritation it causes, the better off you're going to be. So I started not eating anything that wasn't vegan as my last meal. Then after that, I heard Dr. Rhonda Patrick. For every 10% of calories consumed past 5 p.m. led to a 3% increase in C-reactive protein. C-reactive protein is their marker that they utilize for systemic inflammation. Well, if you're causing inflammation prior to bed, that's no bueno. That's gonna cause increase in heart rate. That's going to cause a lot of issues. So you want everything to be as stress-free as possible going into your deep sleep where you're going to recover. All these things are hindering deep sleep. So then what did I do? I got the Oura Ring, and it was able to quantify all the fucking things that I was testing, all these things that I was flirting with for all these years. So it really fucking helped me out a lot. So then what I figured out was I don't eat past 5 p.m. Never eat past 5 p.m. Very, very seldom. If I do, it'll be like, like a fucking serving of popcorn or something like that. Something very, very, very easy. And I even try not doing psyllium husk before bed. Like I used to do like a tablespoon of psyllium husk before bed, wake up, have a nice little fucking shite. But like that, even that is causing too much irritation in the gut. It's like, because you can't digest it. So it's just passing through and fucking shit up. And it caused an elevation in heart rate. So even high fiber meals prior to bed weren't the good move for me. So I literally, if it's not 5 p.m., if it's before 5 p.m., I'll eat. If it's after 5 p.m., I just won't do it, because nothing is more important to me than a good night of sleep, because the sleep was directly correlated to my mental health. So my sleep schedule, I wake up at 5 or 5:30 every day, whether I like it or not. Like today, I didn't even have an alarm. I woke up at 5. And I'll wake up, I'll do my whole pre-workout protocol, whether I'm working out or not, with the exception of the gelatin. And I'll have protein, but prior to the podcast, I don't eat.
Right.
So today I didn't eat, just because I don't want to have to shit in the middle of a podcast.
With the gelatin, wouldn't it be better just to keep that as a constant everyday thing anyway?
I suppose, but it tastes like shit.
Right.
So I just put the packets in my fucking mouth, and it like. Plus, I think for 15 packets, it's like $15, and I don't have enough joint issues for me to like notice anything substantial. So I figured if I do it intermittently, it'll still yield enough of a benefit where it's like a minimal effective dose for me.
Right.
That I won't need to do it every day, because I mean, doing shit every day is annoying to me. I hate that type of routine where I have to take this. It makes me not want to fucking take it. Fuck you, I'm not taking this shit. So if I do it intermittently, it's a little bit better off.
I hear you.
With certain things.
I hear you. So then going back then to sleep, do you always shower before bed too? Like, is that one of the ways that you're going to bring your core temperature down? You run AC in your bedroom and stuff like that?
So I've heard mixed reviews on the shower before bed. I've heard I've always heard shower before bed. Shower or bath before bed, yes. Hot shower or cold shower, I've heard different reviews on. My thought process is you want to have your core temperature as low as possible that's comfortable while you're sleeping. However, the mode of getting there are contradictory. Some say take a cold shower prior to bed. I know when I take a cold shower, I feel fucking juiced. I'm ready to take on the fucking world. A hot shower, I feel nice and relaxed. I'm ready to go to bed. The thought process behind the cold shower obviously cools your temperature down. But some people will argue that it's bringing all your blood closer to the core, and therefore making you heat up even more so. Whereas if you take a hot shower, it brings all your blood to the surface, and then it'll cool down a little bit easier. So prior to bed, if you take a warm or hot shower, it's prepping your body to have all the blood on the surface for when that cold air hits you, and then it cools you down, and that's how you cool your temperature. So I don't know. I haven't noticed that big of a difference, and I haven't done one or the other consistent enough prior to bed to really comment on what works best for me. Some days I'm really hot, I just take a cold shower. Some days I'm really cold, I take a warm shower, and then I go to bed. But always freezing cold in my room. Like if it's 60 degrees in my room, that's fucking nice. I have two ways that I sleep. I'll sleep, I'll start the night off, and my wife hates this, but I start the night off with the comforter off me, but only a sheet on me. And I'll lie down on my back. I have a really, really thin pillow that I roll up to like the size of a hand towel, and I put right behind my neck to give me more of a cervical curve. So I have some kind of pillow, but it like opens up my airway. And I sleep with that behind my neck and a body pillow underneath my knees. And that takes the pressure off my lower back. So I'll try to start sleeping like that. And I'll always end up taking the body pillow, rolling over on my side, putting in between my knees, hugging the body pillow, and then, rolling the pillow up on my side. So I'm most comfortable on my side, but I think for optimal sleep, like if you sleep like you're in a fucking coffin, that'd probably be best, especially for back health and shoulder health. My shoulders kill me when I wake up in the mornings. And I even have like one of those Tempur-Pedic beds too. It didn't fucking help at all.
Right.
Didn't help at all. But middle of the night, I'll wake up freezing, and then I'll put on the comforter. Like probably around 2, 3 a.m. I'll be freezing, put on the comforter, and roll over and go right back to sleep again. So that routine has been helping me a fuck ton. Now I know on nights that I take, I used to take like, what was it? What's the sleeping medication? Not Ambien or anything like that. NyQuil. So I used to take NyQuil instead of taking Benadryl, which is the same fucking thing. On nights that I needed like a really good night of sleep, and I wasn't able to track. I did that all prior to the Oura Ring, and I haven't done it since. So I'm probably gonna try fucking. But I mean, my sleep protocol has been really, really good lately. For the past 3-4 years, that I haven't even needed to fuck around with the NyQuil.
Yeah, and that's best for sure.
Yeah, because God forbid I get better sleep on NyQuil, then now all of a sudden I'm gonna get addicted to it, and I don't want to do that. Then you're not gonna be able to sleep without it. I try to do things as naturally as possible. What about you? What do you do for your sleep routine?
Bro, shower. And then I've never had an issue with sleeping, though. I mean, I spend so much time sleeping on floors and in tents and here, there, and everywhere that honestly, as soon as I get into bed, I go like a dead night, nice and straight, hands usually like on my chest or something like that, and I'll just knock straight out.
Yep.
Yeah. With sleep, it's like one of them. I feel like it's like a rabbit hole that you can get so deep into, and if it's not broken, I'm not going to try and fix it because I always sleep well. I fall asleep real quick. I'm always knackered. Get a good night's sleep. Never really wake up. It depends if, the baby's going mad, but she's really good too. She sleeps really well. So, mate, it's good as gold. Honestly, always have the doors open if I can. Fan on too if we need. And then, yeah, mate, sleeping's not an issue for me at all. So, I'm lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, I never had an issue sleeping my entire life until I got anxiety.
Right.
And after that, it made me fucking become, Johnny fucking expert on sleep. And then
and you had those bad experiences, and then you didn't sleep for a long time, so it was more traumatic for you,
Yeah, because I'm a cunt.
It's always, well, it's just, and it's also something that you always like you want to avoid it, right? You never want that to happen again. So I get it, 100%. But I think. I remember like when I was traveling with the motorbike, I used to have this sort of inflatable sleeping mat. But I don't know, after about 6 months or so, it had like one of the valves wasn't working, and I tried to super glue it back, but I could blow it up, but by the morning time, it was basically flat. So I would just get in, and if I would wake up because there's like a tree stump in my back that I could suddenly feel or something, I just got into the practice the whole time of trying to breathe and calm my body down and try to relax my body as much as I could, focus all my attention on feeling as heavy as I can into the floor, and then I would just end up falling back asleep anyway. So, yeah, I don't know, just practice, ain't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I am when you start getting fucking nervous about shit is when shit gets even worse.
It's when it gets way worse. Exactly.
Anxiety begets anxiety.
Yeah. Yeah. So have you got anything else for sleep, or should we go into go.
Yeah. Prior to bed, no alcohol either. They say, a glass of wine before bed or a glass of wine a day at night. No. If you're gonna have your glass of wine, you gotta have it earlier in the day. You should not be having that so close to bed because it raises your heart rate. Anything that raises your heart rate. Think about it like this. You get your baseline with the Oura Ring, you'll get your baseline of your average heart rate and your lowest heart rate.
Mm-hmm.
If your lowest heart rate is up by, I don't know, let's say 4 beats per minute. And actually, I'll give you my stats specifically. And it won't be in regards to alcohol either. I'll just go based off of my numbers. So yesterday, I got a decent night of sleep. My lowest resting heart rate was 54 beats per minute, and my average was 57. Now, if my lowest resting heart rate still hits 54, but my average is 63, that's 6 beats per minute increasing. So that's a 10% increase in my recovery, or I should say 10% decrease in my recovery, because my heart rate is now up 6 beats per minute, which is 10% of my average resting heart rate. So now you're decreasing. Now, I don't know what the correlation is, but you could have had 10% less beats. Less beats. So less work done while you're sleeping. And that's the goal, is to do as little work as possible. Digestion gets put on pause. Everything. You want all systems to be put on pause so your body can genuinely focus on recovering. So it doesn't have to focus on working as hard. That's the goal of it. So when you have alcohol, heart rate's going to elevate. Heart rate will absolutely elevate when you have alcohol. Anyone, put this to the test. Get a fucking Oura Ring, wear it to bed, have your glass of wine before bed, have 2 glasses of wine before bed, have 3 glasses of wine before bed, have 4 glasses of wine before bed. Notice the difference between each one. Some people can handle a glass of wine. Most people cannot. I don't care who you are. Most people cannot handle the glass of wine before bed. They say they can. There's still a difference. There's still a noticeable difference. And if there's going to be any difference, why do it at all?
Right. I mean, the majority of people that I know that drink, they don't really just drink 1 glass of wine before bed. They'll drink half a bottle or a bottle before, because they want to, as soon as they hit the pillow, they just want to knock out.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I don't even think that, for those people that I know, I don't think they would give a fuck if their heart rate was 20 beats per more through the night. They don't care. They're just,
they're out.
I just know I need to sleep. I don't want to lie there all agitated because they can't. And yeah. But I mean, from performance wise, sleep is like the topic has been going on now for like the last, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, since Matthew Walker came into the scene.
Yeah. And I think some of the stuff in his book actually got disputed.
Yes.
Or a lot of it, actually.
A lot of
it. Yeah. But it still holds true. I mean, if you want to be doing a lot, you need a rest, and your rest needs to be as good as possible, right? I mean, otherwise, I mean, everybody knows it. I mean, if you look at a child, and it's hilarious when you have a kid and then you see what an impact like being tired or being hungry has. And I mean, we're exactly the same. I mean, there's not that much difference. We might not be so outspoken about it, but the inner chemistry is still going mad.
Dude, if I'm tired or hungry, I'm a tall 2-year-old.
Right. And then things make a lot of sense when you realize that most people are chronically overtired and unhealthy. And I mean, like, look at gut health and stuff like that. I mean, if your gut isn't able to rest, actually, funny enough, we saw our uncle, what was it, 2 nights ago? And he was talking about how he had a cleanse and he could not believe the worms that were coming out of him. Have you ever had a cleanse?
What kind of cleanse?
A colon cleanse.
Hell no. Yeah. I fucking take psyllium husk while fasted. That blows you out.
Yeah, but this guy, because there's not just what comes out, they also flush it in full of water, right? They try and fill you up like a water balloon. But everyone, this isn't like my favorite topic to talk about with people, but the people that have mentioned that they've had it, they all have quite positive experience with it, especially for afterwards. And it shocks them to see quite what comes out of their body. And I mean, the gut is just as important. I mean, everyone always talks now about mental health, but your enteric nervous system, which is found in your gut, that has 90% of your body stored serotonin. Like, you can't feel good if your stomach's all fucked up.
100%. 100%. And if you have mental health issues that you need to work on, your sleep needs to be number 1.
Yeah.
Sleep needs to be sleep followed by nutrition.
Yeah, and diet. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So, like, if you're not taking those 2 things seriously, then you're not taking your mental health seriously.
Right.
I don't care what the fuck you say. If your diet isn't on point and your sleep isn't on point, then you're just fucking full of shit.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But don't tell me you want to get fucking better, because you don't.
Right.
If you can't control yourself to fucking do these things, then that's fine.
And it's funny because recently I've had a couple of discussions with people, because they're like, oh, like what you eat doesn't really matter. It's just about the overall calories. Like, I can lose weight eating, a small McDonald's meal a day. And that is true.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Did you ever read the Twinkie diet?
Yeah, well, I know of it. Yeah.
The guy raised his HDLs, lowered his LDLs, lowered his triglycerides, lowered his total cholesterol, lowered his body fat, all by eating nothing but Twinkies. It's possible. Absolutely. Is it the healthiest thing in the world to do? Fuck no.
Yeah.
I've had the same argument with people. The same fucking argument. I had a buddy tell me, no, it's SICO. It's SICO. Calories in versus calories out. I said, you had to lose weight, but not for optimal health. Nah, all that matters is calories in, calories out. I said, all right, here's what we're going to do, motherfucker. You're going to put your fucking money where your mouth is. All you're going to do is you're going to have whey protein, and you're not going to get like one of the good whey proteins. You're going to have one of those piece of shit fucking whey proteins that, tastes fucking awesome and is loaded with a million fucking ingredients on it. Then you're going to have maltodextrin. And then you're going to add Crisco to it. That's all you're allowed to eat. He goes, oh, no, I can't do that. You got to have soluble fiber. I said, take psyllium husk with it. And that's all you're fucking allowed to eat. You tell me how you fucking feel after a month, after a week. Don't tell me that what you eat doesn't fucking matter. For weight loss, you're right. But for health, absolutely. Absolutely. So don't fucking give me that shit. It doesn't matter. Calories in versus calories out. Not for optimal life. For weight loss, yes. Not for optimal life, optimal function, optimal performance.
And I see it more like it's a great thing to have as like damage control. Like you can't always be in like your perfect routine. You can't, you know, I'm one of those people. I need adventure. I need to have a lot of fun, you know, and there's a fun in being with good friends, going drinking sometimes, you know, just going mad. I mean, after the Ironman, I went back home to the UK for a week and literally just was a pig. And it was great, you know. It's a good way of also like minimizing some damage if your body composition is that important to you and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. That's not my style, at least, you know. But a lot of people want to argue because they're like, no. The science says I can have this, and that's absolutely fine because it's all to do with the caloric balance. And they're right, but you know, you wonder why they also are still grumpy as shit, you know. Makes a big difference.
Yep.
So,
Let's cut it there.
Yeah.
We got plenty.